We have extensively used board mass. In specific, we have used addition and subtraction, division and multiplication. We have used this extensively, but not brackets and operation. And in this section, we are basically looking at brackets, exclusively how to handle brackets. So I'll give you guys the entire section in one go. That is, it is the same thing as what we did with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, but just that those operations are within the brackets, one thing. Second thing is, if there is a negative sign outside the brackets, you have to be careful. As simple as that. This one sentence summarizes all the things that we're going to see now. Don't worry if you didn't understand that. We will be understanding that in detail, along with that, doing a lot of problems as well. Let's start off with this question. Imagine you have 200 rupees saved in your special holiday fund. On your trip to a local market, you decided to buy a beautiful Rangoli kit for 40 and a small packet of bindis for rupees 3. What is the money that is left? Okay, what is the answer? Can you guys think of it? So out of 200, I spent 40. So we are left with 160. And 160, we spent 3 rupees on bindi and we are left with 157. So we have rupees 157. The kid has rupees 157 basically. Now the question is, how do you represent this? How do you represent this using a single arithmetic expression? So one of the possibilities is 200 minus 40 minus 3. Will it give the same answer? Have a look. Pause. Let me use board mass. So there is no brackets, there is no operation, there is no division, there is no multiplication, there is no addition, but there is subtraction. So we'll go from left to right. So this will lead to 60, 160 minus 3, and this will lead to 157. Is that correct? Right? So yes, what we have done is what we have represented is right. Another way of looking at this is, right, this is case 1 or possibility 1. Let me write it as possibility 1. And we have possibility 2. Okay, let's start off with this. So we have money left is equal to money we had initially. I think I'll use that sentence. Money we or she had, I'll use the word she, had initially. Then what should I do? Yes, subtract that with money she spent in the market. Do you guys agree? So I have these two possibilities. Now, if I express this mathematically, how will it look like? Money she spent in the market. This is going to be what? This will be 200 minus the sum of 40 plus 3. Is it not? Money she spent in the market is 40 plus 3. So basically, I can represent this as 200 minus 40 plus 3. That's one of the way of looking at it. So 40 plus 3, that's 43. 43 rupees she has spent. So we end up with 200 minus 43. That will also give us the same answer. Is it not? So here we can see we have used brackets to represent the situation. Now, remember, both of them have to give the same answer. So how do you solve it is what we are trying to understand. Okay. So I mentioned brackets too, it works the same way as any other expression. You can just look at it as 40 plus 3, imagine that, solve this and all of that. But here the issue will be with regarding to the negative sign. So negative sign is what we have to exclusively handle. If not, everything else is quite simple. It's same as before. Okay. So let's look into this. So the thumb rule is whenever we see a positive sign before the brackets, like say over here, okay, I don't have an example for that. Like over here, these are brackets and there's a positive sign. The thumb rule is that the sign of the terms inside the brackets, it does not change. Don't worry, I'll make you guys understand what it means. Removing the brackets preceded by a negative sign, the sign of the terms inside the brackets changes. For example, over here. Okay, so we have a negative sign before 4 plus 5. So when I open the brackets, okay, I'm using this phrase, when I open the brackets, don't worry, I'll explain what does it mean. The sign changes. So let me put it this way. Minus of 4 plus 5 will become minus 4 and minus 5. I'll explain it this way. So I'm making use of number line to explain this. So this is a number line. We have a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and minus 1, minus 2, so on and so forth. Now, what we looked at inside the bracket is 4 plus 5, which is basically 9, is it not? So I'm representing 9 with an arrow over here. So starting from 0, you have a 9. So whenever you get a negative sign outside the brackets, when you open the brackets, you'll end up with minus 4 minus 5, that is minus 9. Right? This 2 will add up to minus 9. Hope you guys remember from your 6th grade. So this 2 will add up to minus 9. And so we have the arrow will basically flip. Okay. So whenever we see 4 plus 5 with a negative sign outside, what we have to do? You have to take the negative of whatever the value is or the terms or the numbers inside the brackets. Is as simple as that. So minus of 4 plus 5, which was this initially, with us adding a negative sign outside, becomes minus 4 minus 5, that is minus 9. Okay, so it will flip the side. It will flip the side. It will flip everything inside. So what if we had a negative sign outside, and inside as well? What if that is the case? That's what we're going to look now. So negative 2 and negative 3. In this case, we have negative 2 being added to negative 3. And you guys know from 6th grade that this is negative 5, right? Now, if I add a negative sign outside to negative 2, negative 3 being added, negative of negative is positive, right? We have to flip it. That's the whole scenario. Negative outside the bracket flips the numbers inside, whatever it may be. So negative 2 becomes plus 2, negative 3 becomes plus 3, and so we end up with 5. So basically, initial result, which was minus 5, will flip to what? It will turn to plus 5. Can you see that? It turned to plus 5. Okay. Right. So let me explain it over here. This is the first example. The second example, minus 4, minus 5. Yeah. Any guesses? When you open the brackets, what happens? Negative 4 becomes plus 4, negative 5 becomes plus 5. And yes, you guys are right to ask me if you are thinking about it. What if we have 10 minus 3? What if we have this? Simple. What is negative of 10? Minus 10. What is the opposite of minus 3 on the number line? Plus 3. And as simple as that. I'll give you guys one more example. Let's say you have negative 4 plus 2. What now? Can you guys take a guess? So negative of minus 4 is plus 4. Negative of minus 2 is plus 2 is minus 2. So basically that's it. So these are all the example for your this particular scenario, removing negative signs. Now, let's relate it to, because I kept talking about 6th grade, let's recap that. Hopefully it will jog your memory and all of this will be a lot easier to understand. The negative of a number is simply the number that lies on the opposite side of the number line, using 0 as the reference point. For example, 4 and -4, they are opposite of each other. That is, if I take 4 over here, okay, now if I take this length with 0 as the reference, if I shift it to the other side, what will happen? Like over here in this animation, when I flipped it, right, in this manner, if I flip it, what will happen? 4 becomes -4, right? Similarly, you can think of many such examples. Say we have 10 and -10. So these are your examples of correct additive inverse. So basically, when you open a bracket with negative sign outside, it will end up with all of this are your additive inverse of whatever is there inside your brackets. As simple as that. Okay, guys. But what if we have a positive sign? What happens? As I written above, nothing happens. Whatever is there, we just have to copy. 500 plus whatever is there inside the bracket, just copy it and you're done. So whatever the numbers may be, 500 plus of -250 and -100. 500 plus of this is, I just have to open the brackets and copy it without the brackets, as simple as that. And this is 500. Whatever the number of terms are inside the brackets, you just copy it, and you are done. While if you have a negative sign, you have to take the additive inverse of the numbers. For example, additive inverse of 250 is -250. Okay, let me write all of that. So additive inverse of this is -250. Additive inverse of -100 is +100, right? And over here, the additive inverse of actually, let me write it here itself. Additive inverse of -250 is +250, and additive inverse of -100 is +100. And additive inverse of -250 is +250, +100 is -100, right? So here it would be -250 +100 -20. And so our answer over here is 500. I'm removing the brackets, negative sign outside the brackets, and this will affect the entirety, the terms inside the brackets. It will flip them, right? I'm writing the flipped numbers. I'm writing the flipped numbers, additive inverse numbers. Can you see that? I'm just writing that. Okay, can you see that? I'm just copying this set of numbers. So basically this is 500 minus 250 plus 100 minus 20. That's it, guys. As simple as that. And after this, you guys know what to do. Using board mouse, you have to simplify this. Okay, guys. Again, this has to do with additive inverse concept, which is a number or numbers, right? Two numbers are said to be additive inverse of each other. When we add them, we'll get 0. If I have 10, if I give away 10 rupees, I have 0. If I have 4, say, apple and I give away 4 apple, I have none, right? I will not have those 4 apples what I had initially. And that's why they are called additive inverse. It comes from there. That's it. Okay. So yeah, to solve this, it will be, what is additive inverse of 40? It's -40. What is additive inverse of 3 plus 3? It's -3. And we got the same expression. Can you see that? We got the same expression as possibility 1. Okay, so that's how brackets work. So bracket helps us in compartmentalizing. See, this was a simple example. If you had a complex example like money she spent in the market is a bunch of numbers. It's convenient to add those set of values separately and then subtract with 200 or whatever it is. And that's why we use brackets, so that we can compartmentalize the thought process and simplify it, right? Okay, you can pause and have a look.